Dun, 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 dun. G'day guys, we're back here doing these lovely elephants. You'll have to let me know if the sound's any good too. I hope the sound's on form. There's lots of wind today, but I've got a clever little tool to help dodge all that niggly wind. So hopefully it's working. With a bit of luck it's working. Hello, how are we doing, Scotty? Sounds great, perfect. How was my weekend? It was good. It was really good. Jeepers, almost forgot what I did now. Watched a few movies. Worked on a few little bits and pieces. Just a few little bits and pieces here and there. Hey D Stewart, how you doing? How you doing? It was raining on the weekend too, so I was unable to sort of come into the studio and have some fun. But now that the rain has stopped, we've come out here into the wonderful nature of the world to do some more painting. Do some more painting, have some more fun. Here we go. And we're just going to keep these branches coming in here with the softer colours. With the, it's a very diluted Mars black. Hey Dana, how you doing? How long does it take to finish usually? Look, it depends. These works can take anywhere between 5 hours and 20 hours. The longest I've done on a work has been 45. That was a long stretch. That was a long stretch. But look, time doesn't dictate how good a work can be. What dictates how good a work can be is the actual quality of the time you do give it. Cheers, Stuart. Hello to hello to London, UK. I'm talking with a gentleman at the moment about sending a surfboard there, which would be pretty exciting. What was I going to say? Lost my trail of thought completely. It's gone. Is this my farm? No, it's not. It's a park. I was going to go into the studio, but then I looked around, checked the weather report and thought, actually, it doesn't look like it's going to rain. There's a bit of wind out, but I reckon we can go out there and paint. So we've taken the risk and we're out here painting in nature. And I have zero regrets. Hello from Berlin, the 2 a.m. gang. Well, you are more than welcome to be here, 2 a.m. gang. It's good to have you. It is good to have you. Now, there's just a little bit of detail that needs to get captured here. There's a wilderness in the colour, but it needs to be solidified. Wild is great, but you need to have just a touch of control, because the real wilderness in a painting comes from the contrast between a wild moment and a controlled moment. Otherwise you can't fully appreciate the wild moment. And in fact, a wild thought, if the whole thing's wild, isn't it all a controlled wilderness? If you made the painting entirely wild, technically that demonstrated control. So if you want to give a true wilderness to a painting, it would strike me that you'd need a mixture of control and primal wildness. Wildness, wilderness. You know what I'm trying to say. I think the contrast makes the wild more wild, is what I'm trying to say. Thanks, Dana. Appreciate that. And JMS, hello. JMS, I saw your message there, and I haven't got back to you. So it's been raining and my studio is out of commission at the moment, so I haven't had the ability to go live. I know it sounds silly, but I'm very excited now because we're outside the studio, the rain has stopped, we've got a bit of wind, but the wind has been sorted. And the reason it's sorted, excuse my hair, is I've got this little toy. And this little toy is stopping the sound from going crazy. So, we're in a good place. We're in a very good place. Oh, thank you. D. Stewart, you're an absolute champion. I really appreciate that. Coming in here, coming in here. Sneak down there. And we're going to bounce that across here. Just deepening and realising some of these little black areas. There are more streaks inside the work rather than actual dark, thick black pieces. We just want to capture some of those streaks. That's all we want. Victoria, hello. You missed nothing. Only like 5 minutes ago. No worries. I'm just glad to see you creating. Thanks, JMS. You champion. So we've got 3 more works on the horizon. I'm currently, if you were here for the Santa Fe work, I'm sitting with that at the moment. I've given it a UV coat, but I'm looking at it wondering, is it completely finished? And you can only decide that after spending a few days with the piece. You can't quite get the full grasp until you just spend that bit of time with it. So I'm giving it that time. I've been talking to Chad about that, and we'll see. We'll see. I really don't know yet. I think if I was going to continue to attack it, more highlights. See, look, this is the thing. Normally when I look at a painting, I know immediately what more I want, but I can't quite decide that right now. George from Costa Rica, hello. Yes, George. You did get an audio message. That's fantastic. Oh, excuse me, guys, as well. One wildcard thing. There's now prints available, and I'd like to give a big thank you, a huge thank you, to the people who have already leapt on the website and purchased prints, because that's just so incredible, and I'm so glad that a piece of art's going to be in your home. I can't wait to see pictures of it, and I feel like I've had a deeper connection with a few people, which is really, really special. Oop, excuse me. So, really excited about that. Definitely. If you'd like a print of your own, they are available via the link in the bio, and that will give you all the details you need. I think at the moment the A3 Mahalo is running out the fastest. Let me just stand back for a moment and have a look-see at it. Don't forget the merch site. Yeah, that's 100% correct. So there's a merch site as well, guys. There's t-shirts there. Jason, still waiting on him to send me a picture of his t-shirt, but he'll do it. We'll see it. We'll see it. My one, I had a friend ordering my t-shirt because they don't deliver to New Zealand. Linktree on IG isn't working. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. That's no good. Let me check that out. That's the... Oh, don't fall over, guys. Try and hold your ground. There you go. Looks like stained glass. It kind of does, actually. I think it's those streak lines that go through it, heading off in all directions, that sort of creates that that effect. Now let's have a look-see here. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Bum, 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 bum. No, it's definitely working. You should be all good. You had me panicking there for a second. I thought I might have missed my subscription or something. But if you, yeah, it's on the page there. It should be all good. Woohoo! Settle down, wind. We have got some wind out today. Hey, Lizzie, how you doing? 7 p.m. in America. That is wild. That is wild. Give me just a second, guys. I've got this iPad here doing its thing. It's taking a time lapse because I think time lapses are cool. There we go. Right. Back to where we were. What were we doing? We were painting. That's right. Here we go. Right. I'm going to swap off that black now. Get a little bit more through it, but swap off the black and we're going to move... you're tilted there on me. You need to stay still, guys. This shirt is very cool. It cost me $2. $2 from an op shop. So, I'm very, very proud of it. Happy boy. I will say this though, folks. This wind is actually very good when it comes to the paint drying, because I'm not trying to mix wet on wet. I'm just trying to add raw colours to the canvas. And so the paint drying as fast as I apply it is actually very, very advantageous for me. So, yeah, the plate. I actually just bought this plate today. I got on location and I realised, oh no, I've got no plates. So I went to an op shop and I picked up a Maxwell Williams white basic edge plate. So very exciting, Rachel. And honestly, I prefer plates far more than pellets. So don't let anyone tell you that you should be using a pellet. If you enjoy a plate, use a plate, be you. Could you show the original pic? Yeah, of course I can. This is the original picture that we're working off at the moment. We've got trees up high at the top third, we've got a water reflection in the bottom third, and we've got elephants through the middle. Most importantly, the contrast in the elephants is huge. It goes from black to white, almost black to tan, almost immediately. So those elephants are going to be very heavily based on form. They're going to be balanced by the reflections in the water, not having the same intensity and the reflections in the changing in contrast. And then we're going to see the colours from the tree and the elephants reflected in the water. So sort of, in a small way, as we go through more and more of these layers, it is windy pink. But is the sound okay? Because I've got a little mic on, so hopefully the mic's diffusing the wind and you can hear me. But sorry, I've got to be careful doing that because I will lose my trail of thought like that. So the top half here will have more greens, more greenish tans, and a slight undercoat of baby blue, whereas the elephants will have more silvers and golds as it sort of the sun bounces off their skin in quite interesting ways. But then in the water, it'll have all of those colours because it's reflecting all that stuff. The view is shaking a lot, looks like an earthquake. That's the wind we're dealing with. But you're okay because shortly, in the next maybe 5-10 minutes, my iPad's going to die. And the iPad is like a big sail. So once the iPad dies, we will be going just with the phone, which, as you'll probably guess, catches far less wind than the iPad. So let's see where we get to. Sound is perfect. It's just getting a touch of motion sickness. Oh shit. Yeah, it's fair. Give me like 3 minutes. The iPad's on 5%. So it's having fun at the moment, but it won't last. It can't last. Oh, gonna get some of these purples. Hey, I was thinking the other day, I was talking with Shelby, and she has this book called The Horse and the Boy, or something along those lines. And one thing I love about The Horse and the Boy is she was talking about, it's a great book, quotes and all in general, but there was one part I loved that talked about imperfection. And I reworded it and then said it in my own words, which is we get too hung up when we're trying to learn to become more perfect. Ironically, it's about unlearning. And I think it was something about the school of unlearning. And if there was such a thing, where would I sign up? But that's, for me personally, on my own personal art journey and where I've gone. Did a bug just stick on the paint? I mean, possibly. Talk about real process. No, it's flown off. Typically they can see it's wet and they'll fly away. Just like a horse will look at the painting, come up close to it, sniff it, but it won't actually touch it. So there's that. So, sorry, when I was talking about my own journey in paint, to get to where I am now, I needed to unlearn a lot of things that I thought were facts or that I'd come to think was information that would help me. And I had to unlearn all this to try and well, I unlearned it for me at the start, but after I'd unlearned it, that was when my paintings really became something I started to love and that I was proud of. A process I wasn't exasperated with, a process that I really enjoyed, and a result that I started to fall for in a far deeper way. Yeah. I love painting like this, guys. I love the abstract, raw nature of it. I love the way each colour of paint reacts to the colours around it, and each brushstroke is sort of individually trying to express its own wild little moment. It looks like it's fighting the brushstrokes around it. Looks like it's living in its own little reality and battling to be expressive around the strokes that surround it. But once you stand back, they all sort of come together in harmony. Come together in a way that makes you think, okay, even at close up, they look like they're in chaotic, primal, raw, expressive confusion. But from a distance, somehow they all seem to work together. And in a way, being cheesy with you now, it's sort of what life's like. If you look up close and you try and micromanage it, it is just chaos. It's confusion, it's raw, it's all those things. But then from a distance, and usually a distance is reflected in hindsight, it's all quite sensical. It all makes sense and amalgamates in a way that allows us to reconcile our journey, someone else's journey, who we are. So, what am I trying to say? Nothing really. I'm just yammering. That's how I feel. What's my most versatile base colour? Blue's an easy one to replace for black. It's not as good at defining things, but it adds that saturation of colour and that fun to a painting. Red has this vigour, this intensity to it, this I'm here and I will not be ignored, and it will overtake the other primary colours in its effort to express itself. Yellow, I love yellow. I've got a soft spot for yellow, but yellow will always bow. The moment there's another primary colour there, or another colour at all, yellow will relinquish all its intensity and give up to the next colour. So, I think, for me, personally, you talk about a favourite base colour, I mean, yellow's beautiful, but only on its own. And then probably blue. Its power to exist underneath the other colours and have a real impact on the painting without having to be there. I think that's important. I think that's very important. Yellow's good. Yellow's good. But if you are going to use yellow, I typically wait for the canvas to be completely dry. I start with yellow, and then during the process of the painting, I'll only work with it when I'm not using the other colours. Because as soon as it mixes, it loses all its power. And you want yellow to have its power. You need yellow to have its power. Just quickly, guys, there's a link in the bio. Thanks, Lizzie, appreciate you. There's a link in the bio to all my socials. All the fun places you can go. And there's also prints available. So that's in the link there too. And if you want to own a print, I would absolutely love to have some of my art in your house. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Let's have a look-see here. There we go. And at the moment, I'm just using this blue to express some of the chaos in this tree. it creates these branches, thin and winding, without adding too much overall intensity to the picture. This is that underlying aquamarine blue, French aquamarine blue, and later in the piece, we'll move into our baby blue, and that'll build the whole sky to its completion. How do you generally price your paintings? Size is a big factor, because size affects two things. Size will affect both the shipping cost and the amount of paint that you have to put on it, and the time that goes into it. So size has probably the biggest impact. And then, depending on what's been expressed, when we're trying to catch a raw moment of expression, it can be quite mentally draining, but at the same time, it can be very fun. I try and take commissions that I really feel like will not only be something special for that person, but will actually grow me as a person. Something that I can do to think that I'll be different by the end of that work. I'll grow in certain ways, change in certain ways. Look for commissions that'll do that to you. I don't want a commission that I come out the other side the same. I want to be changed. I want to be developed. We're not talking big, euphoric change here. We're talking the small changes that make up life. Small moments. They always make it seem like with life that there's going to be this big epiphany moment that'll change everything, that your view of the world will be altered in a way that it's a saying that says, what's that saying? You're one decision or one action away from living the rest of your life. This is not the case. This is not the case. And the reason it's not the case, the reason it's not the case is it's a million little decisions. Everyone gets hung up on one big decision, but it's actually the little things you do every day. Or at least that's what I've found. Sort of like Gandalf says in Lord of the Rings, where he says, it's not the big decision of one great man that stops evil or something. He says it's the small actions of everyone. And in the same way, I'd liken that to the way I live my life. I don't feel like there's a big epiphany moment ever. I feel like there's a whole bunch of miniature moments. And in those miniature moments, in the small, easy moments, you define who you are. Which is cool, because it means in this small moment right now, we can take a step to define who we are. Oh, Lizzie, we would absolutely love to have you. Let me touch this here. Now, how do I need to go here. And yes, I am 30. I turned 30 on January 12th this year, and it was pretty exciting. It's been a while since I've done this. Here we go. Oh, ding, 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 ding. I think I go like this. You have to bear with me. I'm such an idiot when it comes to technology, Lizzie. There we go. Hello. And then I go, oh, there we go. Oh my God, look at me learning how to exist. There we go. Did that work? I think it worked. Oh, there we go. We should be sorted. I think we're sorted. Let me just stand back for a moment and have a look-see at this. Yeah, so we need to start moving into some lighter tans. We're not finished with these darks yet, but the lighter tans are going to help build this painting to what it is. Thank you, Seb. No, thank you, Lizzie. Lizzie also hit me up after, because the fun thing is there is a moderator Discord. And we would absolutely love you to have we would absolutely love to have you as a part of it. Let me have a look-see here. Now, a little more blue. We can't get enough of this blue into the early layers. And the reason we can't get enough is because, like I was saying, the blue will always underlie the rest of the colours. And since it's going to underlie the rest of the colours, we can add as much as we want. Ooh! Oh no, he wasn't stuck, he was just hanging out. Because it's going to underlie the rest of the colours, we can add it in there, deepen the painting, and not worry it's going to have an impact on where we can take it. Whereas if we put red everywhere, we'd risk actually giving it too much control over the painting. It would take over. Would take over. Where's the... Yeah, sorry, there's actually a collection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elephants. But they're still in the early phases. They're still very much in a state of rough nature. Maybe with a few more layers, they'll start coming out. Has there been anything painted that I thought wasn't my best work? Of course there has been. Of course there has been. But it doesn't leave the studio. So there has been works like that, but I'll usually hold works back. Sometimes something should have been 2 weeks, but then I end up holding it for months and months. Of course, I talk to the client when that happens. But honestly, if you're after a painting, do you want the artist to rush it to a finish and be like, this is your work, I've spent enough time on it, it's over? Or do you want the artist to be honest with you and say, hey, I'm working on this, we're in overtime, I'm not stopping, but I need more time, I need to take this somewhere special. Don't worry, I don't charge people extra for that sort of stuff, but you do have to keep, make sure every work is in a place that you're happy for it to leave the studio. Believe in that. Haven't seen you in a while. Shootsy. You almost tricked me, Shootsy. I thought you were Cheryl for a moment. I was like, that's not Cheryl though. I don't recognise the profile picture. Yeah, I have been gone for a while. You're the second person to pull me up on that. JMS was just hitting me up. So I have been battling with the Wi-Fi a little bit, and the weather hasn't been helping because I haven't been able to get out of the house. These are very much first world problems, but now the weather's clearing up and I can come into town here, paint in a lovely, lovely park. It's all looking beer and Skittles. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Here we go. I went into a op shop when I bought the plates, and I didn't just stop with the plates, guys. I got excited, and I actually bought 2 CDs to go in the car. The reason why is my Bluetooth is struggling a little bit, and so it hasn't been connecting properly to my phone. And look, I don't mean to be a complainer, but I hate listening to ads on the radio. And if I'm being honest, I don't like most of the music on the radio in the first place. So I found a old Pepsi CD from 2002, which is a CD released by Pepsi with music on it, so that'll be wild. And that's got all sorts of stuff. Some Mariah Carey, some Hinder, some just all sorts. It's a pretty fun CD actually. Haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but I've started listening. And then the other thing is a Jack Johnson CD. His album, I think it was Flake. So, maybe? I forget. Anyway, pretty exciting. I like going back to CDs. 18 tracks. You just listen, just enjoy it. Pretty fun. Oh, thank you, Maria. I appreciate you. Where did you learn to paint like this? Honestly, I used to paint with oils, and I used to try and do more realism works, and I'd get really hung up on trying to make it look as real as possible, and you know, or not so much real, but really control the paint as it went onto the canvas in a way that I would say, you have to be here, gradient change here, this colour here. And it's funny because I had full control, and I'd make it like that, but I'd hate the result. It was like it would never be good enough. And then I sort of realised later in life that actually it had nothing to do with the result I was after. The thing that was upsetting me about the work was the fact that I never enjoyed making it. And so then I was trying to sell work to people that I didn't believe in because there wasn't a second I'd enjoyed while making it. I just wanted to see it out of my sight. And that's exhausting, because then once the work sells, what do? You then undertake a process you don't like to make more work that you don't like and don't want to see again. So that's when I started changing the way I viewed painting. Changed the way I viewed art and the world, and thought, actually, what am I doing? Why am I getting so hung up on getting to a result? Why does that even matter? When if I focus on the journey, I get a better result anyway. So I basically completely ignored the result. I'd start painting things and then I'd just paint over them, or I'd throw them away afterwards. It became irrelevant. All that was relevant was getting the paint and enjoying the process of putting it on a board. And once I got really immersed in that, really enjoyed that, really lost myself in that, only then did I really discover a style that I could actually fall in love with. And it sounds so cheesy, but the reality of it is, this style was always underlying. When I look at my old work, the style was underlying inside it, trying to come out, but strangled with predispositions of what I thought I knew, what I thought I needed, and what I thought I wanted. And that made me realize that it wasn't a matter of getting the right teacher, I guess it always is actually, but it wasn't a matter of a teacher, an opportunity, an advantage, a place, a time, a thing that I didn't have. It was actually a matter of me holding myself back and saying that I won't let my art be what it can be because I want something completely different. And then accepting that I was actually wrong, and that if my art could just be free, and that if I could just let it be what it wanted to be, and just release it, stop trying to control it, and enjoy it being what it wants to be, that I would actually get the result that I actually wanted, not the one I thought I wanted. Because just like artists always say, paint what you see, what you actually see, not what you think you see. In the same way, you may not know what you want, but by going on the correct journey, you'll get what you want. I didn't explain that great, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I'm in New Zealand, and Mike, hello, how you doing? Now that doesn't mean that, you could interpret it all sorts of ways, of course, but for me, I really, really get hung up on thinking, how can I make this journey something beautiful that I fall in love with? Because I've never, ever, ever made a painting yet. I mean, haven't made a painting yet that I haven't, I'll have a look at the iPad. Give me a second. Let me check this out. The iPad's on 2%, guys. We are on the tail end, without a doubt. So don't you worry about a thing. That's going to be dead in no time. It's going to be dead. Let me just have a stand back here and have a look-see. All right, more attention in the corners. That's stage 2. More attention in the corners. Down here, we've been neglecting it. What was I saying there? I've never ever made a painting that I didn't love when the process was something that I fell in love with. If I really enjoyed making it, I mean really authentically enjoyed making it, even the struggles, the hard bits, the fun bits, every part of it, when I actually enjoyed it, the result, be it expected or unexpected, was something that I've fallen in love with, and that's a fact. The Wi-Fi is a bit grainy, Jace. Well, I've got 4 bars of 4G, but look, if it's not good enough, I need to have a talk to New Zealand. So I think this is the, I suppose there is 5G around here somewhere. How's the Wi-Fi going for everyone else? Do I need to go track down some 5G? Victoria. Yeah, that's fair. What I can do though is I'll have a look-see out tomorrow morning for an area that's got 5G. And we can get some real uploading bandwidth. Pow! But we might just have to be here for now. We might just have to be here for now. Do 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 do. Hey man, long time no see. Hey Marty, long time no see. That's true, but I'm here to stay now, guys. One thing that I've changed that's happening now is there was a little period there in the middle where I was like doing a weird double dip thing where I sort of went live on Instagram and TikTok. No more of that. I couldn't give anyone enough attention and I felt bad about it, so we've now swapped back to, if I'm here with you guys, I'm just here with you guys, which I think is pretty special. Yeah. Let's dive in here. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, there's lots of grass around here. I like it. Adds a lot of movement to what's going on around me. I can feel it like moving in the wind, swaying backwards and forwards. Man, I'm glad we've got the mic today though, because this will be one of those days where you wouldn't be hearing a single word I'm saying because the wind's going in all directions. So, hey Steve, is that, have we got Mahalo Steve in the building, do we? Good to have you here, In-Flight Monkey. Here we go. Let me just attack this in here. Woo-wee! Give me that wind. That's the one. Really push everything around. And I follow my pride. I only just learned. There's a song on the radio right now called it's Trustful Baby. Maybe it's a trustful baby. I thought that was a trust fund baby. And I'm like, why is everyone loving this song when she's singing about trust fund babies in like a really endearing way? Like, I'm not about this life. And turns out she's been saying trustful this whole time. I just have terrible ears and I haven't been listening very well. So that's where we're at. That's pretty funny. Now that I've told you that, Brandy, you're only going to hear trust fund baby from now on. She just thinks about it non-stop. And she's like talking about someone moving around, traveling around. And I'm like, it's a weird thing for a trust fund baby to do, but you know, babe, it's her song. Hard not to in Maui. I'm inclined to agree. Let's have a look-see here. Right, more of these tans. It's a trust fund, baby. I now realise how stupid I am, of course. Let's have a look-see here. Let's have a look-see. I'm supposed to have some white in here. Sorry, I'm supposed to have some white in here. Maybe it's a trust fund, baby. Do. Here we go. Titanium white, always a treat. There we go. Perfect. Scotland. It's been a bit drenched. I'll tell you what, it is drenching here as well. So we're in a very similar boat. Okay, let's get some of these streaks of brighter colours in there. Starting with the reds. Here we go. Let's dash a little bit through here. Now I've got to be careful with these reds. These are such a poppy colour that if we're not careful, they will take control of this painting. It's what they want to do. It's what they want. These reds just... If there was a colour that was just an absolute attention hog, that would be red. If you want more attention in a painting, add red to it. It'll be absolutely wild. Now I think... Yeah. Exciting. I badged dead. So, you guys should now have like pretty much full stability. I'll put you in position there. There we go. You should be golden now, I reckon. Oh, but now it's blowing this. Just leave it. Don't blow my thing. Here we go. Perfect. Is that in the way? No, you're golden. You're golden. You're golden. Here we go. Maybe it's a trust fund, baby. I can't believe I'm the only person who hears that. Makes me feel like such an idiot. I learned it this morning, guys. I only learned it this morning. Maybe it's a trust fund, baby. Who's so much wind? Is it still like... I mean, I have to go back and listen to the recording, but is it like coming through the mic a lot, or is it just you can see a lot of it? Because ideally, it's not coming down the mic and ruining the audio for you guys. But if it is, that sucks. There we go. Sound is good, sound is good. You're an absolute champion, Steve. I've got I need to get you a tracking number 2, Steve, for Aboriginal, because that's on its way to you. Also, guys, if you want any links, commissions, and prints, all the links you need are in the bio, and that'll sort you out. I would absolutely love to connect with anyone here. I would absolutely love for you to own one of the prints or artworks, because that's fun. Or you can just flick me a message on Instagram and tell me what you're thinking. A lot of the time, it's nerve-wracking, especially if you haven't bought artwork before. It can be sort of stressful to know what you're actually after, and scared of trusting your taste. So sometimes just having a conversation with an artist about what you might be after. Because there's been people who have approached me for commissions who I've actually told, I'm not the right artist for this job. I know the artist you are after. Or I know what sort of artist you're after, but it's not me. And then some things come across and you think, no, I am the perfect artist for this. This is bread and butter. You found the right guy. But you never know, because the same art isn't for everyone. Everyone loves different things. That's why more than one person on earth can have a true love, because there's someone for everyone. And just like that, there is a painting for everyone. So I recommend finding the artist that really moves you. That's one funny thing too. We get so hung up on a rotation there. I'll just spin you out the right way. There we go. We get so hung up on trying to find artwork. Thanks, Harold. You absolute champion. I've never seen Dance Talk before. That was wild. Good morning. Also, dance together. I like that. I think we get so hung up on trying to find art that we love. And it's very, very hard to look at an end result and think, yes, that's the perfect piece for me. I want that in my home. It moves me. That's very rare. That's like love at first sight. It's odd, it's rare, it's a unicorn. It won't often happen. Usually it takes time to develop. And the reason I say that is because when it comes to something like painting, we can, it's actually best to connect with the artists themselves. I find if you make a connection with the artist, you can better understand if the work's for you. And so I feel like if you're buying artwork, you sort of need like a database where you don't see the art first, but you meet the artist. You know, almost like a dating website, but for you going through artists and seeing different ones. And so, like, you know, this is Brian. Brian's 57 years old. Brian spent 40 years of his life in saving white rhinos in Africa. He likes his coffee with extra foamy milk, and he's very passionate about the conservation of animals all around the world. His artwork reflects this and this. His skill comes from here, and he's inspired by this. After you've heard that story, suddenly it's compelling to actually go, right, I want to see Brian's work. I want to see what he's doing. I now feel a connection to it regardless of what it looks like. I feel like that's really meaningful. But, yeah, that's how I feel. Some forum of some sort, something like that would work really well. Like places like Reddit where art gets posted, it's all the art is literally, here's my picture, and I used to follow a lot of it, but then I thought, I don't see the feelings here. Sometimes they add some text and things like this, but jeepers, art exists to improve or to encourage or to embolden or to make feelings, to invoke something from a person by just looking at a 2D surface. And so feelings are first and foremost, in my mind anyway. Even the greatest picture, like you could walk through the Vatican, the museum full of the greatest artwork in the world, but without feeling, without care, without wanting to see it, you wouldn't be moved by those pictures. You'll walk right past them. In fact, I did. I didn't feel a connection to them as much as I can with I mean, jeepers, sometimes you go to a farmer's market and you meet someone who's doing pottery or doing painting or photography, and you can feel it. You can feel how much they care and what they're doing and what they're making. I feel more there than I do at the Vatican. Not that the Vatican's not amazing, but how can I connect? Where's the artist? Where's the story? You're going to give me a 400-page novel about why this particular art happens to be special? I don't feel connected to it. I need that story. I need that connection with the artist. I need to know what the story is. That's why Van Gogh, for me, is such a compelling artist, because first off, I love his art on the face value of it. I think it's beautiful. But second off, his story is phenomenal. It's moving. It's tragic and beautiful, and it's a lot. And I think that's what makes Van Gogh's work so great, this compelling story that goes along with it. That's what's great about TikTok. I missed that, sorry. And I think I saw some comments that you hadn't seen me in a while. You haven't, and it's entirely on me, guys. I'm so sorry. But, hey, I'm here now. IMK, let me know. Oh my God, I'm so slow, Victoria. I read things like that, and there's like this little chonk where like a couple of neurons hang out in the corner of my brain and start having an argument about what the acronym could mean. I'm surprised I got there so fast. Because a lot of the time, I remember before Google was a thing, acronyms were really potent. Because how are you supposed to know what an acronym was before you could Google it? That was wild. That was wild. We're going to add a little bit of this red through this tan. Whoo-hoo, we got some wind, baby. Because you got some just wind, baby. What I'll do, I've got a spare plate here. I'll put it under that side, and maybe that'll hold it down. And then, I'll go like this. Tape. Tape that to there. Oh, not over the picture though, we can't do that. There we go. And that should hold it actually. They can go to there. Perfect. We are not stable, but stable enough. Got a leaf there. Throw that away. Story of my life. Not stable, but stable enough. Let's have a look-see here. This can go through here. I'm now going to move into those lighter tans, and we're just going to have to dance around where they go. We're not going to let them dominate the other colours. or mix into them just yet. I want them to stand as individuals more. There we go. Bounce around the canvas. There we go. There's an ear from an elephant there. Coming down here. Maybe you're a trust fund baby. Beautiful. Beautiful. And yeah, J-Mo knows the movie. When I was a kid, Dude, Where's My Car was out, and Ashton Kutcher was the funniest guy on the planet. He was making those movies about the same time American Pie was around, actually. Similar time, similar time. And that goes there like that. Maybe you're a trust fund baby. It's like, and then I'm going to take it back to my car. I'm going to eat it. And it's a very funny movie. It was funny. You rewatch the scenes and you're like, I remember a bit of than that. But I guess that's part of the mystique. Yeah. As a kid, you're just watching it and everything's cool and everything's funny. There we go. Maybe you're a trust fund baby. Get that on a t-shirt. Trust fund baby or and then. There are some t-shirts though, folks. In the link in the bio, you can get one that says stay hydrated, which I'm very passionate about. And you can get one that says paint me like one of your French girls, which I haven't seen as a comment for a while. So that's wild. Let's just grab this here. Thanks, Victoria. I think 5'9" is the tallest you want to be. 5'9's good. And the reason 5'9's good, if you've been here before, you'll know this argument. It's that if you're going to go travelling, anything larger than 5'9", and aeroplane seats get pretty inconvenient. The smaller you are, your ability to travel places and be rejuvenated as soon as you arrive and not have jet lag, much higher. And you'll be like, that doesn't matter. Oh, really? Last time I checked, Kevin Hart, real small. Super famous, travels a lot. Tom Cruise, super small, travels a lot, super famous. Who else? Ed Sheeran, short dude, travels a lot, super famous. In fact, by the sounds of it, 5'3", 5'5", those guys have a massive advantage when it comes to travelling the world. So that's why I think short guys get a bit of grief. I think tall guys are actually jealous of their ability to travel. It's all making sense now. It's a giant conspiracy. They've been tricked. There we go. There we go. Get a bit of this through here. A teeny bit of blue. Just a teeny bit. Gonna get that into some baby blue. Perfect. That's fun. I'm 5'2", had been smaller all my life because all my tall, but now I like being wee. Yeah, TD. Solid. Solid. There is nothing wrong with 5'2". Good size to be. You'll be laughing all the way to the bank when you get on the aeroplane and you get a seat beside you and you can literally turn sideways and have a good night's sleep. And so when you wake up in whatever destination you're going to on holiday, you don't lose 48 hours. So don't let anyone tell you that that's not a good thing. And if they do, I'm definitely jealous. Definitely. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the balloons, by the way. You champion. Here we go. Chuck some of that in there. Yeah, I only realised I was 5'9" about 4 months ago. I always thought I was, I think 5'11", and then the actual tape measure came out, and I'm like, oh, okay, no, 5'9". All right, here we are. And you know what changed? Nothing. So, here we are. Here we go. Slowly building up some paint. Victoria stopped growing at 12. Yeah. This happens. I haven't really grown since I was 15. Maybe a little bit. Or maybe I didn't notice because all my friends just skyrocketed further than me. We're always just a bit taller. I don't know. I know it doesn't matter all that much. Here we go. A little bit of this through here. I suppose it's been a while since I've sit at Victoria, so now's as good a time as any. But if you guys do want to connect more, if you do want to connect more, there's links to Instagram in the bio. Instagram, TikTok. I mean, we're on TikTok. YouTube, the website, prints, merchandise, all the things. Maybe you're a trust fund, baby. Now, I've got a big favour to ask. There it is. Yeah. I have a big favour to ask. Does anyone have the current time in Auckland, New Zealand? I would love to hear at the time. Because I have a meeting. I have a meeting at 3 p.m. 12:57, 1:57. Is it 1:57, is it? Is that correct, Matthew? 12:57, 12:57. So it's 1 o'clock. I've got another hour. Good. I need the whole hour. I've got an interview at 3, but I've got to pack up and drive across town. So I'll spend another hour, and then I gotta hit the track. Hit the road, Jack. Don't be coming back no more, no more, no more, no more. That's a good song, actually. Next reel might be Hit the Road. Oh yes. Next reel's going to be Hit the Road, Jack. That's fun. There we go. That can go in there. And that can go around there. Hit the road, Jack. Don't be coming back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't be coming back no more. Oh woman, don't treat me this way. I'll be back on my feet someday. Don't care if you do that, do. Yeah, that's a goodie. That's a goodie. There we go. A little bit of this. Get that reflection in the water. Bada bing bang boom. Oh, I missed it. Can you say oh nah? Oh no? Oh no? Sorry, Victoria, I missed the things. High notes, then laugh is deep and animated. High notes, then laugh is deep and animated. Is my voice normally high, is it? Probably. Trying to be nice and polite. That's probably where that comes from. You could go even higher. But I don't really think that high is good. I think this is the good place to be. Right here where I'm talking right now. And the laugh goes down a little bit. But I guess if the joke was really, really funny, my voice would go up. Would it? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? photograph right there. Go with this dog. There we go. There we go. Just keep this little bit of layers going. There you go. Just keep building it up, piece by piece. Gonna chuck a bit of this colour through the blue now. Get a bit of a dark, murky tone. Capture some of those areas around where I've just got black at the moment, but I want to flesh it out just a little bit more. That's where I want to be, just like that. There we go. Where is the place I can come see? Well, typically I jump around a lot, so it's sort of difficult because you get here and then all of a sudden I'll move again. Sort of like one of those little rare items in Spyro. Or a legendary Pokemon in Pokemon. No, so I'm in Auckland at the moment, and this is a beautiful park. And I'm just doing some finishing touches on this painting here. I say finishing touches. I'm doing a layer on this painting here. There's probably another... I mean, we'll see. But I suspect 2 more layers to go. But it's hard to know. It's hard to know. Let's jump back a little bit, have a look-see. How does it look? Pretty cool, pretty cool. We probably need a bit more... Honestly, it needs a bit of yellow to embellish it, but we still need these murkier colours down lower here. Down low. Drop it down low. Oh, 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 oh. There we go. There we go. Thanks, Mike. You're a champion. Sorry, thought you were Aussie. You're all good, TD. Aussies and New Zealanders, fairly similar. We get along really well. So, for the rest of the world, Australians and New Zealanders may as well be the same. May as well be the same. And then go back to those baby blues, grab a bit of that transparency gel, mix it in here, steely blue, now going with that through the sky. Just different countries? Yeah, well, because we're island countries and we're in the middle of nowhere, we're sort of fairly similar. Steely blue, so it's a mixture of a little bit of black and then a baby blue colour, so a little bit of white and then a lot of white, a little bit of blue, teeny tiny bit of black. That'll be steely blue. There we go. That can go through there. And this, some continuity coming through here. There we go. It's going to splash in there. Now we're talking to it. A little bit more coming in there. Oh. There we go. Sorry, just seeing a little bit tied up in how I want this little part here to look. We're making good ground there. That was a good stroke. There we go. Typo, sorry people. I missed that, sorry TD. Here we go. Little bits coming up through here. Adding in that white. Building up the paint, piece by piece. I'll just see if I've got another yes, I do. Just going to pop a bit more of this shade of blue in here. Shade of blue. It's turquoise. Turquoise. Let me chuck them in here. Going to mix this in here. And now we've got steely blue with more of a hint of turquoise through it. Subtle. Subtle. It's going to be what goes into the sea. Into the sea, into the river. Into the river. Here we go. And we're just going to keep thickening up the colours in this river. Like I said, these corners need our love. It's really, really important we don't neglect these corners. To make a painting special, our attention needs to go, of course. Ooh, how am I going to move it? Got it pretty well stuck down, but I can do this. Come here. There we go. This is our reference picture. We've got some elephants. Bottom third is water, top third is trees, and the middle third, but we'll stay there, elephants. So see how the elephants aren't full forms. They're almost contrasting. You can see some trunks and some legs hitting the water, and that's where we're at the moment. So you'll see these sort of lines coming down a little bit and some bolder shapes coming through, but not specifically yet. It's all still a little bit the Wild West. So we've got the colours almost that we want now, and now we're just grabbing little bits of detail, but not focusing on the elephants as we go. We're slowly building it up in terms of we are grabbing detail anywhere, and there's so much in the sky that demands our attention. And so I'll come by the elephants every now and again, but without embellishing the whole picture at once. The elephants will be lost in a background that the viewer will be able to tell the artist didn't care about. I don't want that. I want you to know that I care as much for this corner here as I do for the ear of an elephant in the centre of the picture. And if I do that, then when you're looking at the picture and your eyes come off the elephants and start gazing up the tree or down through the ripples, they'll come back to the elephant, because instead of coming up here and wandering off, it'll come back in. A palette knife buzz. I like a paintbrush. I like the rudimentary style of a paintbrush. I understand the appeal of a palette knife, but I don't apply the paint that thick. This paint's very thin, and it's even transparent. So whereas a palette knife puts down quite an impasto effect, where you'll find the palette knife puts just colour slap on it, and it can't really be fought with. It sits on top of everything else. This paint actually sits on top, but is see-through. A knife wouldn't be able to have that effect, and so typically the knife hasn't had much of an allure for me, because I love to see the underlying coats that slowly make a painting. And you lose that if you use a palette knife. I don't want to lose those underlying coats. That will make this whole work special in the first instance. Here we go. Just lure that down there. Perfect. Perfectos. Blue and red, what colour? Blue and red? That would be a cool blue. A rad blue. Now, blue and red, though, would be a purple. But typically, depending on the shade of purple you want, usually purples look more fun when you get them straight out of the tube. So it can be quite expensive to buy some customized purples, but sometimes if you're after a particular purple, it can be quite cool just to get it, to buy it. Pigments. Some traditionalists like to believe that you should get just red, yellow, blue, black and white, and you should mix all your colours. Nah. You've got a whole armada of pigments, fun, crazy pigments to be used in your artwork. Embellish your art with them. It's an opportunity that no one's had. Well, the artists haven't had for thousands of years, but you've got it. Enjoy all the colours, play with them, have fun. What's your tip to get started again after a wee while? Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, depending on the skill level you left on, you may not have it when you come back. And that's totally okay. Don't judge that. The key thing to do when you're restarting is to realize why you're restarting. Why are you going back to it? Don't worry so much around why you left it, but when you go back to it, is it because you want to release? Do you want something fun? Do you want a craft that you can feel flow in? Do you miss it deeply? Whatever the reason is, understand that reason that you're back and make sure when you're doing the process, you're embellishing it with that reason. Is it for fun? Then make sure the process is fun. All right, Victoria, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. I'm actually out of here in 50 minutes, so you're just missing the tail end. I will see you tomorrow morning, if you're around. Otherwise, I'll see you when I see you. Enjoy your dinner, Victoria. And see that my issue is not good. I just want to be back. Is not as good. No, that's the TD. That's the best reason on the face of the planet. You want to be back on the paint again. So get back on the paint. And when you get back on the paint, love it. And if you don't love it, be very critical and clear about what's making you not love it, and try and remove those things, or the things that actually are a catalyst to make you like it more. Embellish those things. Is it music? Is it having friends around? Is it the things you paint? Is it the enjoyment of watching colour appear on a canvas? What does it for you? Where does the thrill come from? And just pursue that thrill with reckless abandon, like a surfer or a snowboarder or a hiker who just can't get enough of mountains and waves. Pursue what craft you love, and don't compromise on how much fun it should be. Too often do we compromise on that with our craft. Oh, I'll just go through this little bit here. I know I won't enjoy it, but I'll do it like this. No. Find a way to love it. Enjoy it. Otherwise, your discontent, your struggle, it'll reflect in the end product. Challenges are okay to reflect in the end product. Challenges, mistakes, these are okay. But to reflect struggle and discomfort in the end product, not so much. If that can be avoided, that is certainly encouraged. And I saw something about something. I missed it. There you go. It's just coming loose here. There we go. Put you back up there. There we are. Now, how are we sitting? With 50 minutes remaining, what are they going to do? Do. I think I saw a question there too about how long I've been painting for. Since a young age. I've always been painting. I love painting, guys. Painting's fun. But for me, it's not like there's a giant inspiration that encourages me to paint. Something, an artist who inspires me. It's less like that and more like I'm just in love with this. I'm in love with paint, with coloured tubes of it. And I'm in love applying it to a 2D surface. I'm in love with taking someone's imagination or inspiration and turning it into reality through a craft like art. I'm in love with putting your entire self behind a process, seeing where it can take you. And I'm in love with the reactions and passion that can come out of people simply by seeing or being a part of the creation of art. I'm in love with that. It's cheesy, but I like it. There's nothing else I'd like more than that. JMO, probably. I mean, how long would you put it on? I would put it on. So let me just think here. Well, I'm 30. I'm 30 and I've been painting since I was a kid. So you can take the whole time. All the time. It's a feeling. It is a feeling, TD. It is a feeling. And it's yours. It's unique. It's coolest thing about it as a feeling is as you create, others can see what's being created. It's not like It's hard to share a novel. A novel needs to be finished. A writer needs to complete the work in order to present it after several edits and creative processes through it. With painting, you can join. Painting, you can join during the process and see a work becoming what it's going to become. See the struggles and mistakes. The struggles and mistakes that an artist makes as they're making it. You can be a part of that. Because actually in those mistakes, in those struggles, and those directions that the art took that weren't the direction that was intended, or it tripped up in places, or it recovered in places to become the result that it became, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And if you're part of that journey, and if you love that journey, that's why art is actually, that art from a human being will always have a special part in the hearts for other human beings. Because AI is perfect. It is perfect. In fact, you could tell an AI what I make and it'll do a better job of it. It'll make a better painting. It just will. It'll take my style and do it better. But you know what it can't do? It can't go through the challenges I go through. It can't go through the process I go through. It can't make the mistakes that I make and actually enjoy it. AI can't have fun while it makes it. It can't embellish the work with fun. It can only give you an instantaneous result. And so when we're talking about feeling, when we're talking about growth of an individual, invoking emotion, changing who we are or enjoying where we're at, that's a human-to-human interaction. That's something that has to be done between humans. I want to have a feeling where you truly see me and I truly see you, and we can have that moment through a 2D surface. That's where art exists. And that's why in that vein of art, in that very specific niche, unfortunately, AI can't do it for us. Until AI becomes conscious, has feelings, and wants to be seen and see humans, it can't take it. Because we don't actually inherently want results. We don't. What we want is a beautiful journey, a story, something compelling, a reason to be on a story. No one wants the last page of a book. People want to read the book. There's a big difference. Unique, original, your fingerprint of... yeah, fair enough. Derek, what is this? Do you mean this reality or this right here? The point of this is I'm painting some beautiful elephants in Zimbabwe crossing the Zambezi River, and I'm doing it with very, very rough primal raw paint on a 2D surface. I'll frame it and put a UV coat on top of it so it doesn't deteriorate in time, and I'll send it over to him in South Africa. So at the moment, the point of what we're doing here is that I get lonely painting by myself. My artwork's not the same if I'm alone, and paint can be a very, very lonely venture. But this is a give-take relationship because I can share the process with you, and I can also have you guys here with me as I make the art, which actually encourages me to embellish it with a primal, raw feeling of expression. So that's the point of this. I hope that helps. The point of this reality, though, God, that's a good question. In terms of this reality, the biggest point in it is for you to figure that out for yourself. I can't tell you. I can give you some hints, but that's the best I can do. So, at the end of the day, I think we all have to decide what we want from this reality and then pursue it. And if you decide what you want from reality, pursue it with reckless abandon. Because even if you get remotely close to what you think the answer is, you're so much closer than so many other people. So you run with that. Don't let a second of reality pass you by where you're not trying to figure out or chasing the reason why you're here. And sometimes the reason why you're here isn't like to climb a mountain, isn't to accrue money or become famous. Sometimes the only reason why you're here is to look around and be content, or to love your family, or to just be happy in this current moment. That is such a good reason to exist. So, find your own reason and pursue it. Or ignore me. That's totally cool too. In fact, that could be part of your reason. It might be part of Derek's. I encourage that. That's a good way to be. Art is a funny thing because it is subjective. It's a creation from a person, and it's a very intimate creation. And when it's an intimate creation, the person, me in particular right now, is within the art. And if I'm within the art, not everyone's going to like me. So not everyone's going to like this picture. If I do the perfect job of this picture, then it should be liked by roughly the amount of people who enjoy me. And I've got to find those people and let them see it, because hopefully they'll like it. And that's all there is to it. There we go. All right. Ooh, Ricky. Ricky, I'm going to check out your Tumblr after this. It sounds like fun. And Steve, I didn't know you were on Tumblr. You wildcat. I don't fully understand Tumblr. I'm still getting the hang of TikTok, so bear with me. I'm a little bit behind. I think I've made a Tumblr account, but I haven't used it properly yet, so bear with me, bear with me. Water is amazing. Water is fantastic. Oh, water, yeah, the water in the, sorry. I thought you were saying water's amazing, because it is. Hydration is one of the best feelings you can have. Like, if you've been properly dehydrated, you'll then know how really cool it feels to be hydrated. Hydrating's cool. God, I'm not on the ball when I'm not hydrated, guys. I don't know how I even possibly fathom the idea of constructing something creatively without being really, really hydrated. And the worst thing about it for artists a lot of the time, we get hung up on caffeine, red wine, late nights, and the one thing we don't have a whole lot of, water. So it's pretty cool when you can actually pull away from that a little bit and get yourself the water you require to do the artwork you want to make. That goes for almost any craft too, guys. Water is great. Woodwork, whatever you do, water. There we go. Water is life. Remember to stay hydrated, y'all. Lizzie, you have got it down packed. That's exactly correct. Stay hydrated. Usually I find the best way to do it is to have water beside the bed in the morning. So when I wake up, if I go on my phone, that's fine, go on my phone, it's all good. Or I can read a book, hang out, reply to some messages on Instagram, whatever, it's fine. Have some water right there and start your day with a bit of water. I enjoy that. That's my style. Because otherwise you get sort of halfway through the day and then you're like, oh my God, I haven't drunk any water. And then you drink so much at the end of the night that your tumbler is in a cup. There is somewhat artist on TikTok like, oh. I've got you now. I thought you meant tumbler without the E. Like artist tumbler. Sorry, that's my bad. That's on me. So I've completely lost my trail of thought now. That's fantastic you're doing tumblers though, Rick. I can't wait to see them. I think I have actually seen them now. Now I say that out loud. I've seen them. They're cool. But that's quite funny. Yeah. I thought you were really hip then for a moment, Steve. I thought you were on Tumblr, TikTok, Instagram. I was like, Steve's everywhere. Steve is the social king. Steve's heading me off. Steve's got more platforms than I do. But it's pretty funny. There we go. That can come down here like that. Slowly embellishing this water. We're going to let it. We've got to be careful too. We don't want to get hung up on the fact that it's water. And the first thing you do when you think it's water is you do these ugly little strokes. You really want to make sure that the strokes go in all directions on water, not just the way you think they want to go. Because the water's flowing this way. You're like, all right, well, all my strokes are going that way. That's not true because we're not actually painting water. We're painting light on the water. And the light's indiscriminate. The light's not going that way. The light's just bouncing off the water and back to our, well, if we were there in person, the photons are just bouncing off the water and flying into the retinas of our eyes. But in this case here, there's a few steps in between, but the same policy. It's not the water, it's the light reflecting off it. Check out, they're spectacular. Oh, fantastic. Steve, you're an absolute champion. I can't wait. That sounds pretty exciting. There we go. Just keep this going on here a little bit more there. All right. There we go. Perfect. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here earlier than I thought because I'm getting cold feet. Not literally like well, actually it's pretty cold out here, but no, figuratively speaking, I don't want to be late for this meeting. It's an hour and a half away. I'll pack up here and I'm thinking maybe if the traffic's getting big, I don't want to be missing it. So I'll get out of here sooner. But before I go, I will say, been to New Zealand twice. J-Mo, you absolute champion. Hope you like the coffee and the hikes we have here. Western Springs a long time ago. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I typically go sometimes in a park, so you might actually see me around Auckland. Someone saw me in Motat one time. Depending where the sun is, depending what park looks nice, I like the fresh air, and the changing of environments and the lack of control actually stops you from getting hung up on certain parts of your work because the process is always changing and the environment's always wild and different. This is good. This is good for me, good for my process. This is a fun spot to be in right now. I'll turn this towards you. Oh, I'll just bring this around here. Excuse me for a second. I'll just push that out that way a little bit. There we go. So I think that's facing you now. So looking at this one here, spin this one a little bit around there. There we go. So currently with the elephants, you're going to see these branches coming up here. They're quite distinct at the moment. They'll fade back a little bit. These elephants, we're seeing their shapes emboldened with a little bit of blue, but still not fully clear. There's trunks, edges, tusks, and these feet coming down and touching the waterline. They haven't been fully established. We'll get them there. And then the reflections are correct at the moment. We're seeing those same pinks and those same turquoises reflected in the sky coming through, but we're also seeing these subtler colours inside the elephants popping down as well. So we've got to make sure that the water reflects two colours here, but that these have their own unique touch points as well. With the elephants, a little bit more blue, tans, silvers and golds. We'll see where that takes us. So I don't want to speak too soon, maybe another two coats, but I mean, it's all the Wild West, guys. I say 2 coats, it ends up being 10. I say 10 coats, it ends up being 2. That's how it goes. It's been an absolute pleasure to come on back here. Oh, you're more than welcome, Lizzie. Thank you so much for your help. And it's an absolute pleasure to be back here on lives. It's been so long. I'm going to be back here more often. Tomorrow, I'll try and find a spot with 5G, and hopefully that removes the graininess. And until then, guys, I hope wherever you are in the world, you have a great day or a great night. And hopefully tomorrow the wind's down a little bit, so I can actually put some gel in my hair and not look like a crazy scarecrow, but we'll see. All the best, guys. See you next time. Bye for now. Cheers, buddy.